What up guys, it's Jordan here, and today I'm bringing you another MDL Pro Tip series. This time we'll be talking about mistakes on CT side cache. Now, most of these mistakes, when I was thinking of this video, are things that I see people do in pugs, or maybe things just people aren't aware of. So keep in mind, there's always more to be aware of, and I would love to hear about them in the comment section, so feel free to add to the conversation of this video. So we'll start with a couple things at A, mid, and then go over to B, alright? So first things first at A, first things that people try to do is obviously pop flash for PK main. Guys, make sure you have a good flash when you PK main. These flashes when you're running up, whether your teammate's throwing them or you're throwing them, are not good, right? If a guy's peeking behind this box, it's super easy for him to be right here and just duck and avoid those flashes. So make sure you have a good flash. The one I like is right on this line, right at the line under the A right here, whatever that, if that is a letter A. That flash. That flash is a good one because it'll blind people no matter where they're standing. Obviously, if they're ducking right here, it might not be. But that's why, at least if you're blinding everything, when you come in here, you can just hard clear that and then fall back, right? You have a main control. So make sure you're throwing a good flash. Next thing is getting spammed through Doorman. I see this happen to people all the time when the T's open the door. The CTs just kind of stand here and wait for them to come out. You've got to be aware that they're opening the door so that they can spam you. So don't get caught standing in this lane. If you want to, like, spot it at an off angle, this is pretty good because then it's harder for them to find a spam angle. I don't even know if you can. You know, maybe, right? So be aware of the off angle, and this is why the off angle is good. Don't step out too far to where you get opt here. But just be aware of those angles. Don't get spammed by door, guys. It happens all the time to people in pugs. Shroud boost. Man, I see people all the time. They come up here, they want to do a shroud boost, and they run here, and then they start walking. That's the first mistake. Or they come here, and they just jump up without holding shift. Guys, you have to hold shift when you jump to make sure it's silent. Because if the guy walks the right side of the main and you don't hold shift, they'll hear the little static sound of you jumping up, and then they're just going to hard clear this lane. So just try to avoid that, alright? Last thing, it's kind of like situational, but people who save smokes, it's good to save smokes at A, right? Like if you want to smoke A main early, you come in the corner above the E, whatever, right? Smoke A main. Another way to throw it is right here in the corner, this dark spot. You can throw it, smoke right there, right? If you're the main site player at A, the only reason I see people throw smoke sometimes is just if they get mollied. But that's not the only reason you should throw them, guys. Having smokes are super powerful. If you're the second A player, say you're a highway, and then you come into the site because they start smoking this and stuff, throwing a smoke in front of quad is so powerful because it makes it so hard for the T's to come in, right? They're going to obviously flash through it, but basically what you can do is play awkward spots like this. Just hold the edge of the smoke, and when you hear the flash hit the ground, you can hide. Or you can literally just hide your head and peek intermittently, or have one guy peeking like this and the other guy hiding their head. It's just way easier to run a setup when you save your smoke. So try to, if you saved your smokes, guys, don't just hold on to them only if you get mollied and die with a smoke in your hand. When you're playing A, guys, use your smoke smartly. Even if it's like you're right here and they start smoking out, just even if it's not the best thing, a late smoke A main. Even if they throw this smoke, it's super powerful. Because then if you want to scrim through, you can make a really good play where you're holding like this, and they're just going to run out and die, alright? Next up, middle. First mistake I see people making pugs is middle. They smoke this, but they smoke it late, and they run across here, and they get opt. So be aware, one, that you don't throw shitty smoke like that. Make sure you throw it shallower like that. And two, don't cross early. Sometimes what I'll do is, you obviously want to ideally have a teammate smoking roof, molly roof, secondly, rather. Good set one right there. That second one gets all the way down here. First of all, you want to have a guy doing that, but if you don't have that coordination, again, stop right here for a split second until the smoke lands, and then cross. Because an opper, a lot of times, will not run all the way out here to pick the cross. They'll stop like right about here and try to catch you crossing. So throw your smoke, let it land, and then cross the white box. Next thing, always break the vent. I've done another video on this. I've talked about it multiple times. You want to break the vent because once mid is smoked, if the T is right here and he hears the vent broken from highway, especially you want to do it from passive. So if you have a guy getting close, they always have to assume a guy's going to be in vent. They're going to have to molly mid. You're going to make them waste more utility when they take mid. So when they do come back and hit A, you are able to save your smokes for more impactful things, right? These things all kind of connect. Second thing is, if you are going to break vent, you always want to be aware of vent. So even if you're the highway player and you're not actively watching mid, you always kind of want to be like checking these off angles. Playing spots like this are good, just jiggling. Because if they do come out mid, it's really easy. This is a good jump spot method, is you come from the right and jump back to the left. It's really hard for them to kill you. You don't want to really do this one, because for one, they might even hear the jump when they're walking. and they'll just have time to try to one-shot you. This way, it's like almost impossible for them to hit this shot jumping back. So you could check mid. If you think they're not out mid, it's easy to check bottom mid, all right? Lastly for mid, I guess bad flash for vent. I see people do this when their teammates boosted vent. They throw a flash mid like this. This flash is only good, guys, if the guy's in vent, and even then, you want to throw it in front of the vent, right? So if you think a guy's bottom mid, sure, throw a flash like that or something, maybe a little deeper, so it lands right here. That's good. But if there's a guy up here, guys, don't throw that flash. Too easy to turn from. Throw this flash. It's much better. Just throw a flash like that. The guy's going to have a way harder time seeing it coming, and if you finesse it a little bit with a back step, right, they're either going to have less time to react to it, and it's going to blind the shit out of them, right? So make sure you're throwing that vent. If he's bottom mid, right, obviously just throwing a flash bottom mid is better for the vent guy, right? If you think the guy's maybe out vent here, sure, be my guest, get creative. Just make sure you're being creative and understanding the angles of where you're trying to blind the T's, all right? We're going to go to the rotator really quick. Rotator, all the time. They're taking B, you have no chemistry with your B player, right? You're pugging, and you come here, and they're hitting B, they're coming B, Hey, do you want me to flash heaven? Should I flash heaven? Should I flash heaven? Don't ask, all right? Best thing out of a rotator you could do when you're flashing for someone to B is just come here and say, you are flashing through heaven. Hey, flashing through heaven, because I guarantee you, 1, if the guy's here, he's probably going to die anyways through a fight. 2, throw it deep enough so it goes at default, right? That's the best way you can throw the flash, is so it goes at default. Because best case is it won't blind your teammate here. You can keep fighting. Another good option is he's just going to be fighting here and going to hear flashing through heaven. He's going to love it, hide, boom, get a kill. You don't have time to ask and receive confirmation. Just say flashing through heaven, get a nice deep one right in front of default so that your teammate is ideally a little lower than that, right? You want it to come nice and low so it lands in front of the default box and your team can peek with it, all right? At B, guys, I have some notes right here. At B, guys, giving them checker control is the first mistake I see people make. If a team is throwing the smoke combo around, you know, people do this. They come here, they throw the smoke, they throw molly. Guys, you can't let them do this every round. They're going to make you play 2B, and then all of a sudden, one round, they're going to do that. They're going to have 2B, and they're just going to go into a mid control really easily with dry, and you're not going to have any support. Just like breaking the vent on mid, you want to get into a habit of maybe throwing like cold zero, throws this smoke. Because what it does is it stops them from taking checker control. And if you do it well enough, you can throw a deeper one too. You play like one round, you get behind the box with it. You can do this by yourself, bad smoke, right? But you throw it like this, get B main. They're going to throw the molly, you get ahead of it. And now you could play behind this, and if you punish them once, you could use this smoke more rounds and just have one guy play B and fake it. So don't give them checker control for free every round, guys. Just because you might have an awesome setup that you and your friend went over with your head stacking right here waiting for him to peek checker, it's not good. It's too easy for them to abuse you. Secondly, playing checkers with no mid control. Guys, if your team is playing 2-on-2, I see this all the time in pugs, my opper will play right here, and I just know they're going to be between a rock and a hard place late round because the T's are going to pretend that they're not taking B. They're just going to give the opper, let him stay there, and the T's are just going to get out vent. And then this guy's going to have to fall back all awkwardly. So if you want to stay checker, be my guest. If you have like a contingency plan to like smoke that out and throw some flash like over here, be main, and jump away with it or something, it's fine. But don't get stuck checker without a smoke or without teammate support. If you have a teammate right here and they say, hey, they have mid and he could throw this smoke and help you get out, that's fine. Just have a contingency plan if you're going to play checker in a light mid setup. All right. Lastly, at B, have good flashes set up for each part of B, right? If you want a good flash for, you know, just popping them when they're walking in like this, the hardest flash for people to turn from is this pop flash in the far corner. A little left of this little corner, same level. Boom, it's going to destroy people walking up, right? You can even find one. I think there's, what is it, a little higher maybe? Right, you could probably go a little forward. Back step a little, I don't even know if that goes far. Practice these flashes, that's awful. I throw this one mostly when I think they're just in the open. When my teammate wants to blind a guy in this like far corner, generally I try to throw one in this corner. Right there, right? Not like that exactly. In the far corner like this, because what happens is he could then peek with it and fight with it. And then if you know the guy's opting like checker and holding back here for your teammate, he will not get blind by this pop flash, right? The only guy who gets blind by this pop flash is the far side checker. So I know that if the guy's peeking here, this is a good flash. If I say he's peeking, they say he's peeking far side sunny, which is here, right? or close side, however you guys decide, you have to throw a bank flash. Alright? Make sure you're throwing good flashes. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for CT side cache. These are just some simple things I want you guys to think about when you're playing this map, and you could avoid throwing bad flashes, getting spammed, or just having bad protocols. Alright? See you in the next video.